What's going on, everybody in the VC? Craig here with a long overdue vinyl update. I've been needing to do this one for a while. Last one I did was obviously all the VCLT and trade stuff that I had been doing lately. This package, goodness, nice little stack here. It's just been sitting in the listening bin for about the last month-ish, not for sure, probably a good month. Just some eBay finds, a trip to my $3 spot, which I've only been there like twice in the last month, when I usually go once a week, but haven't updated anything. They did a couple weeks ago, but it was all just random shit that I didn't need, and the record garage sale is actually this Friday and Saturday, but I'm going first thing Friday morning at 8 a.m. The guy who runs that booth and also runs the record shows around here has an annual record garage sale where he basically sells I think he's got like at least a good 2,000 to 3,000 pieces that he's selling at $1 or $2 a piece, and then thousands of other records that are all leftovers from previous record shows that he's got marked down like 20% to like 33%, something like that, and a bunch of like 25 and 50-cent 45s. And I actually went last year, and I think I brought maybe like 60 bucks with me, and I walked out of there with a stack of a bunch of like metal cassettes that he had randomly in a shoebox. Amazing what you can find in somebody's garage. And I got between 45 and 60 records, I think. I'm not for sure. I can't reference a video because that's when I was on my video making hiatus, so fuck me. But anyway, that's going to be a killer time. I can't wait to go on that dig on Friday morning. I've got well over double the amount of money that I brought last year. I was really smart and saved up for this thing. I'm bringing a shitload of money, and I plan on bringing a shitload of records. Why? Because this is the last big dig I'm going on. I got a few things that I bought on the internet, which I'm kind of not regret. Don't have buyer's regret because I really wanted them, but more like I don't need to be spending that money right now. But at the same time, a couple of them are limited edition pre-orders that I had to do, and really great prices. I couldn't pass them up. So enough of that babbling. There'll at least be another vinyl update next week, showing all the internet stuff that's coming in. I think I got some other VCLT and trades that should be coming in, and hell, I lost my train of thought there. And then you'll have a vinyl update on Friday with all my finds. That's gonna be a long fucking video. Haven't seen a video like that. It might even be a two-parter. We're gonna bring it back. If you guys followed my channel back, VC Cheers, if you followed my channel back in the day, I used to do two-parters all the time because I was showing, 60 to 80 records, every update. But I also had a lot more money back then, and the ability to just buy, and those were good times. Now, I have to be a little more selective, but still buying like crazy. So what's in the background? My favorite album by this band. This is Phantoms by the Fixx. I love this album. Thank you to my dad for introducing me to this band when I was very little. I can't think of how many copies on cassette. I think his copy I burned through, my copy that I had I burned through, and I've got another copy that, thanks to Travis for picking that up for me, of this album. This album is fucking amazing. I've worn out so many copies. His copy on vinyl is still got some life to it, but pretty well loved. And this is a great copy. I love this album. Top to bottom, underrated 80s classic. Not only forgotten about in their catalog sometimes, but forgotten about in 80s collections. The song you hear in the background right now, Less Cities, More Moving People. Amazing song. I mean, this whole album, very cold sounding, but in end spots, but also has some really good high points. There were some big radio hits and MTV hits, with Are We Ourselves and Sunshine in the Shade. Great band, underrated, and I'm going to see those guys in July. My dad and I just bought tickets, and I am so excited. Wang Chung opening for him. Oh yeah, and I'm sitting front fucking row. I am so excited. Yes! Been on my bucket list since I was a kid. My dad hasn't seen the Fixx since November of '84. He went and saw them. They played in town here at the arena at Notre Dame when they used to have concerts. Stopped doing that a good 10 years ago, and it pisses me off because I saw some great shows there. But whatever. Save that for another video. Alright, so let's get into the finds. Hope everybody's doing well. Enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend. I've worked the entire time and just fucking sucked. So, my $3 spot. Did manage to pick up a couple of things, and this was about a month or so ago. They had been sitting there for a while, and I hadn't really been wanting to pick them up. Just really was like, I really don't, care. But we'll show them here. Desperate by the Divinyls, and also What a Life. Now these have been sitting there for a while, like I said, and I hadn't really been that interested. I was kind of like, oh wow, the Divinyls had music before, Touch Myself, that song. And I'm like, probably throwaway crap, I don't want to hear it. But when Christina, the lead singer, right, I'm sure I get the name correct, passed away recently, it's kind of like, well, it kind of intrigued me enough to kind of check out, kind of what they were all about back in the day, and listen to a couple of the songs. Forgot that they had actually played the US Festival in '83, and I was like, oh yeah, they played on New Wave Day. I'm like, okay, wow, they must been doing something back then. And so I actually went and I listened to this entire album online, and I was like, oh shit, I know they have it at the $3 spot. I'm buying this. So went ahead and bought both of these, and love them. Love them. Great Australian new wave stuff. I mean, Boys in Town's a great song. This whole album is great. Science Fiction, I love that song. Siren. And this whole thing, so fucking good. I could name off all the tracks and say how good they are. Very, very good. Both albums, highly recommend if you're into that 80s, mid-80s new wave type stuff. Good stuff. Love it. Alright, now on to a couple of eBay finds. Let's see here. Alright. Try to divide everything up. Alright, first one. I've been needing this one for the collection for a while. Finally found a killer deal on it. And now, in memoriam, for Mr. Ray Manzarek. Other Voices by The Doors. Nice solid copy. I see some of these go for some sick, stupid money. And it's just kind of ridiculous. I'm like, okay, I am not paying an insane amount. This Butterfly label. Beautiful condition. Overall, a little bit of wear to the cover, but the vinyl is like near mint. And I mean, I hadn't been on a huge hunt for the post-gym stuff, but I was like, well, I'm a completist, I need it, so I still need Full Circle. But I found this for great price, for really cheap, so why the hell not? Next one up, I've been on the hunt for this album since I first heard the song Wild Child when I was about 10 years old, so finally got it on vinyl. The Last Command by Wasp. This is another one that I see that just goes for stupid money sometimes. I've lost auctions that have just gotten to like insane prices. And this one, overall, great copy. Some scuffs and stuff like that, but plays amazingly. And I love this album. This one combined with their self-titled, forget about it. Classics. Great stuff. Now I need to work on getting Headless Children and Crimson Idol. Love Wasp. This next one, major upgrade. Music from Big Pink by The Band. Now, I've had a copy of this for about a good 5 years, I think. 5. I don't know, like 4, something like that. And one of those where I remember when I got it, I was in eBay buy, and it was pretty cheap. And I remember, like, you know, getting it, and it wasn't in that great a shape. They kind of lied on the description, but it was still cool to have, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm happy with it. Green capital Target label. I remember being pretty happy with it. I was like, okay, but every now and again I go and pull it out and remember there's some deep scratches in certain spots and some really bad surface noise, and I'm like, alright, one of those you remember, okay, you put it on the list, need to upgrade, go and you look for it, put a couple in your eBay watch list or whatever, and then you end up forgetting about it, and finally decided, you know what, I really need to upgrade my copy of Big Pink. Went on a major hunt for it, and I mean, I was going on every little auction and trying to find, you know, a better copy and like right price. I'm like, okay, well, if the cover's okay but the vinyl's near mint, and trying to compare, and ended up finding a nice VG Plus on both the cover and the vinyl for relatively, actually it was really cheap. I think with shipping and everything, I think it was less than 10 bucks. So overall, I was pretty excited about it. So now I have my other copy that I can frame up, and they actually are both green capital Target labels, so I was able to literally just switch them out. Didn't have to settle for a later pressing or, you know, a reissue or something like that. Worked out great. So very excited about those. Now on to the next ones here. Now, I've been on a big XTC kick lately. I've been really trying to find more of their stuff. I mean, I've always been kind of a casual fan, knew a few songs. I was like, oh, you know, really like them. Been really wanting to get a lot more of their albums. And I've got Drums and Wires, and I had gotten a copy of English Settlement a few months back, and really like both of those, so I'm like, sweet. Well, thanks to Derek in his video where he was testing out his new needle that he had just gotten in cartridge and stuff. He was spinning the Big Express by XTC. I'm like, oh, fuck, wow, I've never heard that album before. Immediately listened to the entire thing on YouTube and was amazed. Went on eBay, started putting copies in my watch list, and was like, alright, I'm ready to do this. Well, went ahead and was able to finally jump on a lot of XTC stuff. I'm very excited. So I ended up finding a lot of 4, which I'll actually put all those together, and we'll discuss here in a minute my disappointment. So, got a copy of Black Sea, a sort of upgrade, the cover's in a little bit better shape than mine, of English Settlement, Mummer, and of course, the one I was just talking about, Big Express. Now, I get the package, totally stoked. Immediately go to throw on Big Express. Looks like it's got a bit of warp to it. I'm like, okay, well, a lot of my records, you know, have a slight warp or, you know, have a little bit more than that, but they play through fine. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got the vinyl flat, no big deal if I have to use it. Well, I go to spin side 2, and it's got a pretty nice good warp to it where it just starts skipping on first track on side 2, The Everyday Story of Small Town. Well, like, okay, we'll go ahead, no big deal, put it up to the side, we'll flatten it. So, okay, that's cool. Let's go ahead and put on a different one. So I put on Mummer. Warped. I mean, it was like unplayable warped. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, really? The only one that didn't have any type of warp to it was English Settlement. And I'm like, well, fucking Christ, that's the one I already have. Really? Really? Bullshit. Can you tell how pissed I was? So, I ended up going ahead and flattening like Mummer and Big Express. Mummer did fine. Still has a little bit of a slight warp to it, but I mean, it plays fine, and it's no big deal. I'm going to invest in a groove pouch so I can do the warps a little bit better, but no big deal. Works fine. Big Express, on the other hand, got screwed in this whole mess. I mean, I was pissed, and that's the one album I was really excited about getting. And I got a sick deal on it too. I think with shipping and everything, it was only like 12 bucks for all 4 of them. I'm like, okay, that's perfect, great. Never see XTC around here. So I was pissed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? We're gonna have to go through all this bullshit? So I ended up just not even bothering with contacting the dude, and I'm just like, you know what? Let's see if I can find another auction for Big Express, and maybe I can get an upgrade, because the other copy was just not in that great of shape. And I ended up lucking out. I ended up getting some money back because another auction that I had won and never received the album, I ended up getting refunded the money, so I had the money to be able to buy these. And so, the copy that I already showed you, Big Express. Beautiful, beautiful condition. Cover overall, minus a little dig there at the cover. Overall in great, great shape. Vinyl's near mint. I also got Waxworks, some singles, 1977 to 1982. So this is kind of a nice retrospective stuff. You know, some cool tunes on here. You know, overall just singles and stuff. So a nice addition. And so overall, pretty solid XTC collection now. Finally, got that all situated. Don't have to worry about that. It just kind of sucks, you know. I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with trying to ship these back. If he's gonna take the return, he doesn't believe me, or you know, try to deal with eBay and trying to get the refund. I'm like, fuck it. Sorry, I'm just pissy, so I'm swearing like a madman. But either way, totally stoked and really happy with those. So very happy. Next one is actually a Goodwill pickup of all places to find vinyl. You know, occasionally, on rare occasion, I can find some pretty cool stuff. But that just doesn't happen every week when I go to Goodwill. A couple weeks ago, I managed to find this, and I know I've seen this shown either on the Facebook page or somebody shown it in a video. And this is a rotary connection on the Cadet Concept chest label. And for a quarter, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, it's got some coverware to it. The vinyl definitely has some surface noise to it, but I mean, still really cool to find for a quarter. Definitely very blues, psych, got like a gospel kind of feel to it. It's definitely an interesting listen. I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't pay a huge amount for this, but I mean, for a quarter, I couldn't pass it up. Definitely well worth it. So, rotary connection. Highly recommend it if you are a fan of late 60s psych and blues and that type of stuff. Very good. Alright, next ones are actually my last set of finds. Went to my normal kind of used media store that I had been going to last year a lot, where I was buying all my big hauls and where pretty much all my vinyl was coming from, minus eBay finds. And I had really not been going in there much because one of the owners, who I'm really good friends with, had been off doing a bunch of other school-related stuff, and had been gone for a few months, so I stopped going there because there was really no point. And I'd been doing a lot more shopping in other places, and it's a bit of a drive at times for me to go out there, so it wasn't any big deal. Decided to pop in there after work a few weeks ago and ended up with a nice little stack of dollar finds and a couple of killer finds I was very excited about. So let's do the dollar finds. Aldenova Twitch, nice one for the Aldenova collection. One that I remember listening to a lot when I was a kid, when I first got into Aldenova. Not as, definitely not my favorite of his. I'd definitely say the self-titled and Subject are definitely my favorites. One More Song by Randy Meisner. This one I have not spun yet. Looking forward to spinning it. One for the Saga collection, Heads or Tails. Make fun all you want, but guess what? It's not enough that I have this album on cassette. I gotta have it on vinyl too. Mouth to Mouth by Lips Incorporated. Come on now. How can you deny the power of Funky Town? Yeah, come on. Oh, this one. Thank you to LJ and the Greeno. Like, you two are definitely the guys that I remember pointing this album out as being really good, especially LJ. He was all over it. And I picked it up, and I went like fucking ape shit. I'm like, if the vinyl is in great shape, I'm definitely buying this. And the vinyl is in really nice shape, so cleaned up nice and everything. And I sent a picture to LJ. I'm like, dude, look what I got. And they're both just going on and on about how great it was. And this is kick-ass. Crazy Horses by the Osmonds. Make fun of it all you want, but guess what? This album rocks. Seriously, you see it at your local Goodwill or in your dollar bin, do not hesitate to pick it up. This is a great, great listen. Pretty heavy stuff on here. Heavy for the Osmonds, I should say, but well worth the dollar I spent. Now, the last two finds here. You know what? Actually, let's take a quick little break because I know this is actually getting ready to finish. And I know I'm the fucking rambler here. I'm gonna talk forever about one album. So we're just gonna flip this over now. If you want to hear more, go ahead and buy the album. If you buy the album, you won't hear me rambling over it. Well worth it. So let's go ahead and drop the needle down. Alright. Now. Last two. Not dollar finds. If there were dollar finds, I would have fucking shit. But really well priced. I love this store because they price everything so low. I love it. First one, a little bit of a backstory to it after I show it. Fresh Cream. Cream's first album here on Atco stereo. Nice OG stereo copy. Now, here's where we get into story time. If I didn't have enough bad luck with those XTC being warped, bought this. Just a beautiful, beautiful cover. I mean, where are you gonna find an OG stereo copy cover in this nice a shape? I mean, overall, I'd say we're getting the borderline near mint territory here. If it was still in the shrink, it might have survived a little bit better, but overall, where are you gonna find that? Very rarely. So, immediately, I think it was like $6, I'm like, oh hell yeah, buying this. Pull out the vinyl. Now this is where I should really trust my eye instinct. I'm looking at the vinyl, near mint looking, I'm like, wow, this looks like a solid deal. I kind of hold it a little bit, and I kind of see maybe a slight warp. And I'm like, nah, I've worked all day, maybe my eyes are deceiving me. Either way, go ahead and buy it. First one I want a needle drop, in Fresh Cream. Go to drop the needle down, boom. Just as I expected. If there's a warp on it, I feel free. And I'm like, okay, great, another warp. I go and flip it to the other side, drop it on Cat Squirrel. Same thing. Like, are you kidding me? Rest of the album plays great. Once you get over that initial warp, you can play the rest of I Feel Free and the rest of side 1 and the same on side 2. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot in the vinyl flat. Drop it in the vinyl flat, no luck. Probably would have better luck if I had that groove pouch than trying to use my fucking oven, but whatever. No big deal. So, I go ahead, I jump on eBay, eyeball a copy that the cover pretty beat up, but the vinyl looks to be almost near mint. So I'm like, okay, this would be an almost perfect slide up copy. So, for about shipping, it was less than $10. So I mean, overall, when you kind of add everything up for a nice overall Frankenstein near mint copy, oh yeah, I was pretty excited. So, overall, and it was nice because I didn't actually have the original inner sleeve in my copy that I initially bought. So I got an OG inner sleeve, cover, and vinyl for about $16. So, you know what, I'm a huge fan of Cream. And this one I've been needing for years. So, I was very happy. And this last one, Prague Grail for me. You just don't see any of their stuff in the stores around here. There must be something about this particular area in the Midwest where finding good prog that's a little bit harder to find. It just doesn't happen, and I'm still kicking myself because there was one of their albums that I'd seen forever sitting at one of my local stores that was actually, now that I think about it, a really good price, and I just never bothered to pick it up, and kicking myself in the ass for not buying it. But you know what? This is the one I've really been on the hunt for. In the Wake of Poseidon by King Crimson. Oh, and this album, beautiful, beautiful cover. Love the artwork on this. And overall, the condition, killer. And the vinyl, just as beautiful. Look at that. Just so excited to find this. And I think it was only like 10 bucks. So, don't see that normally on eBay. Gotta get shipping charges and fight the eBay snipers. So, In the Wake of Poseidon by King Crimson. This one, yeah. Rivaling In the Court of the Crimson King for me. I love that album, but this one, almost rivaling it for which one is almost better. It would almost be that 1-2 punch type of thing that we were talking about in that thread. I'd say that would be a great 1-2 punch. That album, I played it from point 1 all the way to point Z. Oh, so good. I think I've spun it a couple times since I've gotten it, and I love it. Love it. So, pretty satisfied. I've only got a few King Crimson, but what I do have are the albums that I play endlessly. So, I'm at like 6 King Crimson now, so gotta work on those, but now we're getting to the harder to find stuff. So, oh well. Alright, so that does it for the vinyl finds. Enough of my rambling and all that good shit. Hope everybody's doing well once again, and finding some killer vinyl. Catching some of these vinyl finds, I'm just like, Jesus. The VC luck is just traveling around, and hopefully it stays with me on Friday when I go digging. Very, very excited, and I'm losing sleep. Can't wait. So, we'll see you guys in my next vinyl finds, which should be up by Friday, Saturday. We'll see. And see you guys then. Peace.